because of the air conditioned units, you have to speak particularly loud from here. Yeah, but you turn off that now, so roast, we are planning for roast, you know.
No.
Just speak clearly for me, Senator Brown.
I hope you're hearing me now.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
But I'm saying, on the announcement, there are some reports from the Integrity Commission. Are there any other reports that have been presented to the Parliament that have not been shared with us as Senator as soon as practicable? And if there's any such report, could the senators be told whether or not there's any court action enjoining the Parliament from tabling such a report? May it please you.
The question that Senator Brown asks is one that I can address and had not really intended to do so, but since it is raised by Senator Brown, I have no alternative but to deal with it. And the question is, essentially, whether there is any other report from the Integrity Commission which has been sent to this Parliament but has not been tabled. Indeed, there is such a report which was received from the Integrity Commission on the 30th of March, 2026, concerning the conduct of the Firearm License Authority. Over the last several days, there has been wide and varied comment within the chamber of the lower house and in the public domain concerning the non-tabling by the Parliament of the said report which I referred to from the Integrity Commission of Jamaica. Much of the discussion has been criticism directed at the Speaker of the House, who has been unfairly accused of attempting to thwart and stifle our democracy and its institutions by her failure to table the report. She has been incorrectly accused of breaching provisions of the Integrity Commission Act 2017. It is not my intention to delve into the details of the legislation. However, it is to be noted that the legislation, that is to say the Integrity Commission Act, does not impose an obligation on the presiding officers to table reports received within any specific time or indeed at all, but rather states that the Commission is to submit reports to the Parliament for tabling. The decision to table or not, and when to table, rests with the presiding officers of the Parliament. I wish to make it clear, I wish to make it abundantly clear that the decision not to table this specific report was not taken by the Speaker of the House, the Honorable Juliet Holness, in isolation. That decision was taken by the presiding officers. That is to say, myself as President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House, in consultation with the clerk and the legal officers of the Parliament. Persons who are well aware of this, however, have sought to ascribe the decision as not to table the report solely to the Speaker of the House, in yet another attempt to besmirch her authority and tarnish her reputation. I am not surprised by these attacks, however, as there is a long history of attacking strong women in leadership in this country by many sections of our society. in arriving at our position, that is to say, not to table the report from the FLA at this time, we consider the decision in the Hales matter, which made it clear that proceedings in the Parliament are within the sole purview of the presiding officers of the Parliament, not the Speaker or the President, the presiding officers of the Parliament. The decision cited as the Supreme Court of Judicature of Jamaica, claim number 2017 HCV 00744, between Ian Hales, applicant, and Charlotte Alexander Hales, respondent, the Contractor General, interested parties, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, first interested party, and Senator Tom Tavares Finson, second interested party. And the judgment, which runs over just about 40 pages, says, and I want to just quote paragraph 60 at page 33, the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate would have been acted inter vires by tabling the report submitted to it by the OCG. Their action would be categorized as Parliament conducting their internal affairs, and as such, their actions, listen to this, their actions would be immune from the jurisdiction of the court. I find that the Speaker of the House and President of the Senate were improperly joined to the application for leave to the interested parties. The bottom line, and for those who wish a simple explanation of all of this, is that the internal proceedings of the Parliament are directed and conducted not by the Speaker, not by the President, but by the presiding officers, both the President and the Speaker, both of whom took the decision in this matter after consultation with the relevant authorities of the Parliament. There is currently a matter before the court seeking non-disclosure of the report, and the view was taken that those proceedings should move ahead until it became clear where the court was heading in this matter. And we determined that the document ought not to be tabled until the issue in the court was further ventilated. Let me point out that this approach is nothing new, as it is a process that was followed in the Ian Hales matter, and which was supported by the then leader of the opposition, Mr. Peter Phillips. In fact, the approach that we have now adopted has received the approval of the most senior constitutional lawyer in this country, Dr. Lloyd Barnett, who says, if there is an application for non-disclosure in the courts, then you wouldn't frustrate the court's proceeding by tabling the legislation, by tabling the report. We have to have respect for the judicial system. In fairness, let me just read the precise words. If there is an application for non-disclosure, then you wouldn't frustrate the court's proceedings. We have to respect the judicial system. In closing, late last evening, I received a letter in my capacity as President of the Senate, addressed to myself and the Speaker of the House, both presiding officers, and addressed to the clerk, from the leader of the opposition, Mr. Mark Golding. In that letter, Mr. Golding said, and I must say, I had no intention of reading this letter, except to say that this morning, the correspondence appears in the Gleaner, on the Gleaner website. So several hours after it was sent to us, it is in the newspaper. Dear Madam Speaker and President, I'm sending you a memorandum of today's date, prepared by the Honorable B. St. Michael Hilton, KC, on the captioned matter. Please see attached. The captioned matter being subject, failure to table the Integrity Commission investigative report and failure to table the Integrity Commission investigative report on the Firearm Licensing Authority sent to the Parliament on March 30, 2026. Now, so he says that he's sending this report to us, a memorandum prepared by learned King's Counsel, Mr. Michael Hilton. And then he says, having now shared with you the benefit of this clarification of the legal position of eminent senior counsel, I trust that the Integrity Commission's investigative report of the FLA will be tabled at the next sitting of the House of Representatives and Senate, respectively. If not, if not, I am putting the capital on it. If not, I intend to instruct legal counsel to file proceedings as advised in the memorandum. Well, no doubt the memorandum has already been released to the public. I consider this an unprecedented threat to the administration of Parliament and the conduct which I believe is beneath the dignity of the office of the Leader of the Opposition. Without saying too much, listen, without saying too much, I would just indicate that the presiding officers, the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, and myself as President of the Senate will not bow to any intimidation or threat. But will administer the affairs of the Parliament in accordance with established protocols, the standing orders, and the Constitution of Jamaica, which is the supreme law of the land. I'm still speaking. I thank Senator Lambert Brown for raising the matter and giving me the opportunity to offer the relevant clarification. This is not open to any debate.
Yeah. Thank you for reading from your prepared text. But I just want you to answer the question. Has the courts enjoined the Parliament from tabling the report? That's what I'm asking. Is there any measures taken by the court, an injunction blocking the Parliament?
Okay, I understand. What the courts have said in the Ian Hales matter is that the administration of the Parliament rests solely with the presiding officers of the Parliament. That is to say, the Speaker and the President of the Senate. The courts have said nothing in relation to the exercise of the prerogative of the presiding officers of Parliament. They have said nothing. The presiding officers of the Parliament, the Speaker and myself, have taken a decision based on our assessment as to what is happening in the court, and we have made that decision, which, let me point out, that decision is subject to continuous review. It is not in relation to Ian Hales. I think that position remained for almost 6 years. This position that we have taken is one that is going to be continuously reviewed. We accept the position of learned attorney, Mr. Lloyd Barnett, over the analysis of anybody else at this time. Announcements, you done that. Bills brought from the Honorable House of Representatives.
The following is a message from the Speaker of the House of Representatives to the Honorable Senate. I have the honor to advise